Dr. Rich Blana, host of the Conquering Your Stress podcast. In this, the 31st edition of the podcast, I'm going to talk about the different categories of stressors. As you've probably realized by now, if you've been following this podcast for a while, that you'll never be able to eliminate and control all of your stressors. Some of the things that cause you stress just come and go without warning. It's important to realize this so that you don't set up unrealistic expectations about being able to control or eliminate all of your stressors. These kinds of illogical expectations will just create even more stress for you. A helpful hint for managing your stress is to start to categorize your stressors. And there are three categories of stressors to help you do this. Category 1 stressors are things that are foreseeable and can be controlled. They are stressors that you know about in advance and that you have time to work on and do something about. For instance, let's say if you know that driving in a crowded city such as New York City is very stressful for you, it's a stressor. You can choose to not drive there, or you can somehow alter the driving experience. If you wish to visit, you could use public transportation, for instance. You can foresee this stressor and you can do something to control or manage it. Category 2 stressors are stressors that are foreseeable but cannot be controlled. These stressors require different kind of coping strategies to manage them because you can't avoid them. An example of this kind of stressor would be having to wait in line for hours to buy tickets to a concert. Now you know that you're generally stressed out by waiting in line for short periods of time, let alone for hours at a time. But you also know that this is the only way you can purchase these tickets, and you really want to go to the concert. And the only way to get them is on a first-come, first-served basis by waiting in line. So this stressor is foreseeable, but can't really be controlled or eliminated. So what you can do with this stressor is really manage it. So you get in line, for instance, and realize even though you don't want to be there and that stresses you out, you can make it less stressful by bringing a book to read or bringing an MP3 player to listen to music or comedy or to do some work that you need to do on your laptop. So in other words, you can see it coming, you can't avoid it, but you can manage it a little bit. Now, category 3 stressors are things that are neither foreseeable nor controllable. And these are the ones that catch you completely off guard. An example is the type of stressor that you feel when you're stuck in a traffic jam caused by a major accident. You know, imagine that you left your house a good 30 minutes early to go somewhere and you're making good driving time getting there. And you're on a 3-lane highway, and all of a sudden as you crest this ridge of the highway, traffic is at a complete standstill. And then the cars fill in behind you and there's nowhere to go. You can't get off, you can't move forward, you can't go backward. You turn on the radio and you find out that there's been a 10-car pileup and traffic is backed up for 5 miles in 3 hours. You neither saw this coming and can't do anything about it, so it's neither foreseeable nor controllable. Because you can't do anything about it in advance and prepare for category 3 stressors, the best way to manage them is to accept them and then to kind of shift your attention off of them and onto something else. So rather than obsess about the traffic and allow your mind to wander and create endless scenarios about what you could have done differently, what's going to happen because you're stuck in traffic, you can stop, accept that you're stuck, and shift your attention onto something productive, like doing some deep breathing exercises, or playing some music from your playlist, or some comedy, or again, using your hands-free device to make some important phone calls, to call work, to call some clients. Now, unfortunately, most people do just the opposite with category 3 stressors, and they obsess about them endlessly and allow their minds to ruminate and come up with endless possible scenarios that create even more stress. So if you keep a stressor journal, like I suggested in one of the first podcasts, you can start to note what category your stressors fall into. And in time, you'll have a list of stressors in each category, and you can use this as part of your overall stress management plan. You can plan on things that you can foresee and control, things you can foresee and not control. It gives you a little more power in creating your own personal stress management plan. I look forward to working with you again next month.